second page is a brief summary of the changes and where we had left off on November 20th. On November 20th, we were presenting to you with expenditures of $168,059,539, revenues and other funding sources, which is our food service fund transfer of $165,396,815. That presented an unbalanced deficit of almost $2.7 million, $2,662,700. Over the last few weeks, we've been taking a look at some of our salaries, some of our benefits, and other expenditure line items, and have come up with the following adjustments. We're proposing a reduction in our overall salaries and our FICA and PISA expenditures of $1,506,235. The reason for that reduction is our prior budget was listed as $67,986,280 on the salary line item. Projections for 2019, including all salaries, are coming in at $66,203,744. We are proposing a budget of $66,986,000. So it's up from the 2019 projection, but we're including some vacant positions that have remained unfilled in the district, including an assistant business manager, maintenance supervisor, IT support staff, 3 hall monitors, school psychologists, and also one building clerk as well. So we wanted to maintain those vacancies in this budget. They've been approved by the board but remain unfilled at this time. The addition to the reduction in benefits is related to the reduction in salaries, so lower wages, lower PISA's impact, and also the fact that the PISA's has certified their rate to be lower than we originally projected. We were budgeting 34.77% for 2021, and it's been adjusted to 34.51%. So lower wages and a reduction in our PISA's expense that's been certified by PISA's has resulted in that adjustment for our salary and benefits. We'd like to propose a reduction in the superintendent's budget. In the 2019 budget, the board authorized $50,000 for hiring of a grant writer. And discussing with Dr. Feynman and Mrs. McTiernan, we think that we can reduce that by $30,000. We look for board authorization in the future to possibly stipend a current employee with a stipend to perform those duties. And the last reduction that we're showing, which is always kind of like our last resort, which is a reduction to the building level budgets. So we'd be proposing reductions to departments and building levels. They would remain at or above the 2019 levels, but they've been brought down by $381,489 to help balance what we're proposing this evening. Some adjustments to the revenue would be our sale of assets. As you're aware, the board has hired appraisals for the sale of Lincoln Jackson and the Samuel Morse property, and we've even sought bids on those properties. To date, the sales have not been finalized, but they are in the process of working towards that, and we would like to add $75,000 for the sale of those buildings for our 2020 budget. Tuition increase. At the other evening, we currently had, I believe it was 11 students enrolled in our out-of-district program for the Electric City Academy. We've now increased that by 2 more students have come online and entered into a contract with the district, each at a cost of $35,000. So we're increasing our tuition line item by $70,000. That line item does also include our summer school and winter school tuition as well, but we've increased it due to the Electric City Academy program. The largest adjustment on the revenue is our Ready to Learn block grant adjustment. As you are aware, we received two forms of the Ready to Learn block grant. We have a standard $1,836,000 that we use to fund our kindergarten program, and in the last 2 years, we've received a $6 million supplemental program. The 1920 supplemental allowed the district to draw down $1.8 million of the 6 in calendar year 19, thus leaving an additional 1.2 that would fall into the 20 budget year. Assuming that we would continue the Ready to Learn block grant upon state approval, which we wouldn't know until later in the year, this would increase the revenue received to the district in 2020 by 1.2. So we've made that adjustment here. The next step is actually a revenue adjustment to the negative. At the other evening, when we presented to you our PEASES reimbursement rate, we were utilizing the market value ratio, which was 7.665. That's the entire portion of it. We receive 50% reimbursement on certain employees that were hired before a certain date. We see more of a blended rate of about 0.7341. So that is to true that up and to make the budget more aligned with what we've received from the state. Overall, that's a $2,662,724 of adjustments. So we would be proposing to you tonight for approval at the December 23rd meeting, a budget consisting of revenues and expenditures equal at $166,141,815. Any questions?
Good job reducing the $2 million.
Thank you.
And this one, you should include the regular Exxon or July increase.
Yes, I'm sorry, well, yes, let me make that clear. This does include a levy of taxes to the Act 1 index of 3.4%.
So we won't need to go beyond that.
Correct. The district was authorized to exceed Act 1 at a levy equivalent to $551,000. This does not include that.
So well done, to all the people involved, so they want to keep that, not having to go above our economic increase. That's an enormous achievement given the financial challenges of the district.
If you want to stay up there.
Sure.
What were the payroll prep tax? What were that update?
Sure, yeah. Do we want to have the open forum for the budget first?
Is that how you'd like to do that and then step back?
Sure,
yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then we need a motion to adjourn this meeting, I think?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Then I will call to order the budget hearing for Monday, December 16th, 2019. May I have a roll call, please?
Ms. Cruz? Present. Mrs. Dixon?
Present.
Ms. Fox? Ms. Hume? Mr. McAndrew?
Present?
Mr. Schuster?
Present.
Mrs. Yanni?
Present.
Ms. Martin?
Present.
8 present.
Did everyone get a chance to sign in? I know there. Mr. Rios, Oswaldo Rios. Microphone.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Oswaldo Rios. I'm a local resident of Scranton, Pennsylvania. I live in Capaus Avenue.
We're neighbors.
Street, yeah.
Yes.
Look, I saw your car in the car. I know the car.
You saw me right in the car, yes.
I recognize her. I've been in the area since 2000. I originally moved from New York City. Since I came to Scranton, I came with one mentality to try to help out the community. I did that a lot in New York with extracurricular activities when I was in high school. And that's kind of like a motto that I brought up. I've been involved in soccer for a long time in the area. I've been an assistant coach for West Scranton with Coach Cook for about 3 years or so. I moved on and I assisted coach for Lackawanna College and with Dunberg. Then I moved to Penn State University in the Scranton campus. They didn't have a women's soccer program, so I supported that program from the beginning. I recruited for them, and they were able to pull up a first team for women in the area, so I'm really happy that happened. That was under, he used to be coach from Dunmore, Joe Bolt. Now he is the head coach on Penn State. From there, I moved back to Scranton High School, where I've been assistant for the past 3 years. Soccer is a big part of my life. I grew up playing soccer. I didn't have the possibilities to play it, so that's the reason I'm here for. I noticed we don't have a junior high school program. I'm pretty sure that is brought up before. I'm sure, like in the budget, I know there's a lot of things that involve having a soccer program. The first thing is the students' involvement. I developed a club team for about a year and a half now. I started with 9 kids with Leandra Barbuti. She's one of the teachers. Her husband owns a landscaping business, Barbuti Landscaping. It's self-funded. We started with 9 kids. Right now we have over 60 kids from the community. West Scranton, East Scranton, in Greenwich area, from all over the place. Looking at the statistics, we have an enrollment percentage of in the district. Hispanics is 31.4%. Asian is 5.7%. Asian, it's a huge influx of people from Nepal. And I also see the economic disadvantage on our communities is 65.7%. What does that mean? That means that they don't have the funds to go to club teams. Club teams are very expensive in the area. There are several travel teams. They don't have the liability, the accessibility to go to one of those clubs. What we do is just provide soccer for all of these kids. We find funds, we find support from the community. There's businesses that have been providing this for us. For over a year and a half, we haven't charged a kid any money, except for the parent that want to contribute and help us to develop the kids. It gives them something to do. Now, a lot of parents have been asking about the junior high school program. How come there's none? I really don't have an answer. And that's one of the reasons I'm here. When I ask them, well, the reason is in the budget. It's a huge community support. They say, well, what do we need? Do we need uniforms? We'll get them for you. What do we need? Do we need fields? Through Barbuta's Landscaping, they do maintenance for Weston Field and East Scranton Field. We have access to those fields with no cost. Barbuda Landscaper, I told him if they wanted to fix the field across from Scranton High School, he said he'll do it for free. He'll fertilize it, he'll fix it. If you guys need to put like banners on the side for funding, extra funding, he said we'll work for it. We don't have to pay for it. The uniforms we can get them. The kids, we have them. They're all happy, they're all willing. The minute you give them a ball and you tell them you don't have to pay anything, and they're playing, they've been doing excellent. Riverfront Sport Complex in Scranton. Last year we started with 1 team. This year we have 9 teams. So I'm very proud of these kids. The U10, the U8 team hasn't lost a single game since we started. They have 8 games already, they haven't lost. The U10, which is 9 and 10 and under, they haven't lost. The U12, they haven't lost. The U14, they lost 1 game, and they got upset. But hey, I tell them, you never take a victory to your head or a loss to your heart. Keep working hard, and things will come to you. We have U14, we have U16, and we have high school teams. I have 1 high school women's team, 2 boys, junior, seniors, freshmen, sophomores. Again, they're all happy and they don't have the funds for it, and we just providing it. So I just came to ask for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Very much. Charlotte Short.
First of all, thank you for taking my comments. I really, really appreciate it. And as you all know, I'm new to the area. I moved last April. So that makes it so I'm still learning the processes and understanding budgets and such like that. But the whole time I've been coming to board meetings and listening to budgets and such like that, and the thing that keeps eluding me is the special ed money. Because that's where my heart is, it's always been there. And when I was with a different school district, it was a very small district, and I was the early childhood special educator director. I ran it all, so I knew where all the monies were coming from and how it was taking place and where it was going. What I wanted to share with you today is this is from the U.S. Department of Education. The free and appropriate public education services have two forms of, there's more than two, but two that I've been looking at, forms of funding. There's IDEA, and then there's also the Medicaid or Access, they call it here in Pennsylvania. IDEA, I'm going to focus on tonight. 85% of that is flow-through money from the feds to the school districts. The state only gets 15% of that. When I have asked different people where that money is and how they can explain it to me, I have not been able to get those answers. So now I'm coming to you as a member of the community asking where's the numbers, the figures on how we can get that. Now I have ran a few of my own figures from what I've been able to find from the state and the feds, and what I've been able to find is from the state funding. When we look at our numbers compared to York City and Harrisburg City, our numbers are quite a bit the same in the three different categories, as far as income, as far as kids that are served in the different areas. However, Harrisburg gets $1,000 per child than we do. York gets $500 more per child than we do. That does not seem right when all the other numbers are right within the.
We've also contacted Pennsylvania Department of Education Chief Counsel this week, Phil Serrani, about that possible mid-year conversion to see if it's even allowed.
So being allowed to be, meaning that you can't charge two different taxes in the same year.
Correct.
So there would have to be a transition like Pittsburgh has, stuff like that. So this probably won't take place within the near future. And we're looking at maybe, when would this actually take place? Well, it's all approved, or it is approved
According to the law, as you understand it, it can only happen while the city's under Act 47.
for the exit.
Because I do think it's important to note that this is an initiative in the city's Act 47 exit plan, not in the school district recovery. The recovery plan simply states that we will consider this. This is certainly a ball that has been placed in our court, not one that we were looking for. Would that be accurate?
Yes, we've taken on, as we're asked to do, we support it, we follow the direction of PG, we'll do a referendum, and we've taken the next step now, and the final decision will be embarked on.
And the city ended its recovery in July of 2020. And I'd like to thank you for coming, because we do need businesses to step up and give us the information that they have on this to make our decision.
We weren't given the perspective that you gave us this evening, so thank you, of the impact it would have on some of the larger businesses. We were pretty much told that it would be, more fair and for everybody, but not to the impact that you're speaking.
I wish more businesses would come forward. That was very informative.
We have some on this list.
Oh, good, because that was one of the questions I had. I can't, what impact is it going to have on the current businesses in Scranton? And I can't see how it would be an initiative to invite businesses to come to Scranton.
That's how it was sold to us. This would bring more business in because the tax would be more fair, based on, instead of gross revenues based on the employee.
Right.
Thank you.
Shelley?
Thank you. My name is Pat Frashani, and I'm president of Simplex Industries. We're a manufacturer of modular homes and buildings in the Kaiser Valley section of Scranton. We've been here for 48 years, and I have sent a letter to all the directors, and I'm hoping that you receive, if not a copy, sir. And I'm not going to read it, but the point is, as Mr. Pizzillo had talked about, was the fact that it is going to affect all businesses, and and I have had many discussions with the city on this, and we all know that this needs to be a revenue neutral tax. The problem is with some of the figures that the city has been throwing around. no one really has a good confidence whether these numbers are correct or not. And because of that, I think it's going to impact your budget, because if these numbers are incorrect, the revenues that you're anticipating in your budget will be less. And we all know that your budget is very important, and there are some shortfalls that, and having one more shortfall would not be good for the budget, or for the budget itself. Now, I don't have all the numbers that Mr. Pizzilla, mentioned, but I could tell you for every $1 million of payroll, a business would pay $11,000 extra. So if, for some of these larger companies in Scranton, it could be hundreds of thousands of dollars. From our perspective, we pay $122,000 in school for taxes. We also, I'm not at liberty because it is a public hearing to talk about our payroll, but it would be significant. Now, the interesting thing is with manufacturers, we are exempt from the mercantile business privilege tax. So we really would go from 0 to a six-figure number. And that would be devastating to our business. And what I'm really concerned about is, even with a small, retail company, I was talking to someone, and they would pay more in the payroll tax than they would in the mercantile tax. So, it doesn't affect, it not only affects larger companies, but affects all size companies. And we all know that one of the things that helps the tax base is business. And the fact that, what I'm fearful of is that this could potentially, definitely new employers would not be located in Scranton. But the current employers that are in Scranton are going to have to take a deep look at this, and they're going to have to decide whether, does it make sense for us to continue doing business in Scranton. So thank you very much. If you have any questions, I did put my personal cell phone number in your letter, my letter, so please call me. Thank you.
Thanks, John. Brian Mays?
Hi, everybody. My name is Ryan Mays. I'm the Director of Finance for Simplex Industries. I work with Pat Fashoni. I'm really here just to, voice my concern over the payroll preparation tax. Like Pat said, Simplex Industries as a manufacturer, we're currently exempt from the mercantile business privilege tax, and to go from 0 to 1.1% overnight is a very big impact on the bottom line. It's a concern for us. I mean, it's something we really didn't have any time to plan for. And a lot of our competition, being a modular home manufacturer, which is similar to a lot of other businesses in the area, we're competing against other companies outside of the area. So when we add another tax on top that we have to build into our bottom line, it makes it more difficult for us to compete, and get these jobs, where there's razor thin profit margins, or competition is very strong, which hurts us, not just our bottom line, but our ability to get these buildings or jobs that allow us to employ people in the area. And basically, it's just something, as a manufacturing company, like I said, being exempt, we've built like our processes, as I'm sure other companies have in the area, on the previous tax code. So being with our structure of business, or many manufacturers, we have large buildings like where we pay a lot of taxes and real estate, as Pat had mentioned, and so maybe that's more so than another company who pays the mercantile business privilege tax at this time. And I just feel that moving forward, to put a tax like this in place would be a real burden on growth in the area. If you wanted to bring in a manufacturing company who was looking at coming to Scranton, or maybe renting a warehouse on Kaiser Avenue near us, they may choose to go down the road into German or into Dixon City or somewhere just down the road where they don't have this 1.1% tax in addition to what they already pay. And whereas they may have been an employer that could have brought 200-300 jobs to the area, they may choose to go elsewhere. And so I also agree with Mr. Frashoni's assessment of the fact that the payroll preparation tax would be a inconsistent stream of revenue potentially. I mean, obviously you guys need to consider your budgetary, numbers accordingly, but my concern is that, again, putting this type of tax in place and not knowing for sure, what kind of revenue we might get back in the beginning could create a budget shortfall for the school district moving forward. So that's really all I had to say. I just wanted to show that. Thank you.
I think we may be switching gears, so is there anything else you want to bring forward on the payroll prep tax before we move on? Some of the questions I continue to have, I agree with all the comments that were made here this evening. I think this is information we have been longing to obtain since the summer, when we first began meeting about this. So thank you certainly for coming forward. And I also think we have to thank the two businesses we have here for all you do for our students. I know you are businesses that are very supportive, not only of our community at large, but I know have you and at CTC as well. I know about some of the work you do up there, and Garrity's is such a good partner, not only to our students in our district, but to so many organizations in this community. So I certainly think that needs to be acknowledged, and thank you for coming forward as well. But I think so many of the concerns that we have been wondering about were brought forward this evening. And I think one of my concerns is in terms of this process, because am I correct that the budget has this number because this is revenue neutral, no matter how this tax is levied? That's the same number in there. But the process by which we would make this conversion, we are still a little bit unclear on that and the timing of it, and am I correct?
Well, as you know, no other school district has made this conversion, so the blueprint isn't there for us to follow. So as we explore it, as we work with our solicitor and the city's legal counsel as well, how the conversion has to take place, I think people are looking at this for the first time, including PDE. That's why the call last week, at the end of last week, to PDE was made, because some of the guidance we've received now is that it needs to be a mid-year conversion. That I'm not sure if the Department of Education allows to change the tax mid-year. And we're a calendar year school district. I'm not sure if that has any impact on it either. But right now, we're looking for guidance from PDE. If the board would like to pursue this, how can we do it?
And in terms of the vote that we will take next week to, assuming approve the budget, do we have to take any action in terms of this along with that? Does this decision have to be made at that time, or are we approving this number and then the workings of all of this?
I would like to consult Solicitor Ellie on that. We've been in touch with PDE counsel.
So that's something to discuss next week.
Because we do vote separate on the levy process.
I will say that the concerns that they have raised are accurate, and we've had conversations with Pittsburgh as well. I spoke with the gentleman in Pittsburgh, and he noted that while it's been successful for them, there was a 2-year rebound, to get back to where they were. I don't know that Pittsburgh had the opportunity to reset the rate after year 1 as the global district does, but it was setting that mark, setting that target, and any shortfall from the school district would be detrimental as our funding is already extremely budget.
And the gentleman you spoke to from Pittsburgh, did he also talk about a little cushion being built in there, and that was something you didn't feel?
He used the term learning curve. I think from an employer, changing their internal controls and the processes in place to put the tax into effect. So yeah, he did note that he, I think, experienced about like a 10% learning curve. Would those eventually be caught up with per-year collections? I would assume so. The tax would have had a levy period, but I think it just slowed the momentum down a little bit.
And a 10% learning curve would mean about $700,000
That's
for
for
the
the school district, yes.
and it would mean about 200,000 for the city, correct? Around the middle.
250. He offered to speak with me again after this evening if we had some questions. So being that is such a large number, I want to confirm that with them. But, you know, there certainly was, again, a 2-year period for them to get back to where they're at.
And Mr. Martin, that's a 2-year period to level off. We have no reserves. So,
So it was confirmed tonight what we had questioned, Mr. Martin, about impacting larger businesses. I mean, that can't work tonight. So that's one thing, and there's still a lot of unknowns.
So I think there's still more information to consider every day, so thank you again. And thank you all for bearing with our sort of unconventional structure here this evening. Mr. Whalen?
Hi, everybody. I'm the fellow applied for the seat on the board. But today I got a call from Mr. Ward. So what did you call? What was you calling me?
Yes.
What was it that you told me?
The
Today?
special meeting has been canceled for the vacancy.
Due to weather? Okay. But you guys are all here, and I'm here. You guys be able to go to a vote at least, right? And let me know if I don't have the seat, or, because if I do, there's a pretty big learning curve, right? Get that up there. It's that,
We do have an
possible?
issue with the way that the meetings are advertised. And I apologize that the weather did not work in our favor or did work in our favor. I don't know which way to look at it now. But unfortunately, that was a decision we had to make because we have to provide notification. We can't just decide midstream to vote on something else in terms of the way the meetings are advertised. So on our agenda for this evening is, this is a budget hearing. This is not a meeting to, I know it seems silly, but it is, it's the rules of the game.
Is it on the agenda for the next meeting?
Is it on the agenda for the, no, we have not rescheduled it yet. Our solicitor was not available today, so we just want to be in touch with him to make that point.
I'll take my seat. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, and I appreciate your understanding. That's everyone. Anything else to go to the order?
Would anyone else like to add anything before we end?
in terms of the taxing returns, one business will reach out to me from Scranton and said that they were looking to relocate to Denmark already just because of the tax increase in their food berries and such because they fall under a manufacturer. So I'm really interested to have one of us speak to come out and tell us the impacts for everybody, you know, positive or negative or such, because I don't think we do have the proper information. I'd love to have it all because I've heard aside from you all that they were already trying to figure out where they can go, where they can scramble, because not many businesses around here have that amount of money set aside to just put towards a new tax. So I'm excited to hear from more people and to get a full picture of exactly what we're doing here so we can make a proper informed decision. Thank you.
Yeah, and I think with this issue here, we're going to need that input from businesses in our area, so I don't know, also thank you.
I have another question for clarity, Pat. So, in actuality, the school board's vote doesn't really matter. The city can do it without the school board. Is that correct? Or that's how it was called in one of our meetings.
That's how we understand it as well. The city can't convert. I believe the city has stated that they wouldn't pursue it without the school district, but I don't know if there's anything that says that the city cannot.
Thank you.
But then we would be levying two taxes unless the school district, and maybe this is a question I've asked you before, Pat, and I simply forget, but if, I know there has been talk of repealing potentially in some far-off land the BPM tax, not in any time in the near future. But if the city were to make the conversion and we were to continue with the BPM tax, would that option to repeal the BPM tax remain on the table for us? Or does that also have anything to do with Act 47?
I don't know the answer to that question. We'll have to research it for you.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
All in favor? We're adjourned. Thank you.